Hi, and thank you for joining me for today's process video. And today I've got two 3x4 photos that I printed using the Becky Higgins Project Life app onto a 4x6 photo paper. And these are of us attending my Auntie Vera's funeral. I know it's a bit of a morbid thing to to document, but she was in her 90s, had a wonderful life, and it really was a celebration of her life. It was a very special day. So I grabbed this Vicky Boutin stencil, it's just daisies all over it, and these 4 distress oxides, and I'm just blending them through the stencil. So I'm starting with the dark yellow and the dark pink at either end, and then going through to the paler colours in the middle. So the darker yellow is fossilised amber, and then it goes on to scattered straw, and then the bottom pink is worn lipstick, and I'm blending that into spun sugar. As per usual, when you see the layout at the end, you will notice that you can't really see this. I keep doing this all the time. I'm wondering if when I'm creating, I'm seeing this as the mat to cover because you can barely see any of this mixed media, but I go through the process and it looks really pretty. I'm going to be using Spectrum Gardenia from 49 and Market. My Auntie Vera was a real pink girl, very girly. And she had a lot of pink in her house, and I just wanted to use that to document this photo. I'm also going to pull in the blues and greens that you can see in the picture, because the creme that she was buried at is really beautiful. It's a modern crematorium, and there was lots of greenery and things around it. It was a sunny day and it was just really special. So I've matted the photos onto scrap white cardstock and then just trimming down so that it's a very thin border, and then this is going to sit on that pink paper that you can see in the background. Now, because the photos total 4x6 and the paper is only 6 inches wide, with these mats they don't quite fit onto the pink, but I'm absolutely fine with that. So I'm just going to make sure that the pink shows on the right hand side and overlap the left hand photo slightly over the edge, because I am going to be adding more layers, so it really doesn't matter. I just noticed I hadn't cut this white border very square, so just pulling that up a little bit to trim that corner off. So that's how I want that to sit, and then, as I say, pulling out some more of these 49 and Market Spectrum Gardenia papers. I'm actually just focusing in on the 6x8 papers because that's more or less all I have left from this collection. The 6x8 pads have a huge number of papers in, so it takes quite a while to get through them. So I had this little scrap of blue, so that's the blue that I wanted to bring in. And then you saw me cutting that green. And then this piece, it must have been my inspiration without even realising for the inking that I did at the beginning, because it's the yellow going into pink, which just looks so pretty, doesn't it? So just working out how to position these, and then I'm going to distress all the edges and get it all stuck down. First of all, I wanted to use one of my distress grid stamps from Hey Little Magpie, just to add a little bit of detailing on the background. Because I've noticed that most of that inking that I did at the beginning is covered up, I just wanted to bring the mixed media out a little bit in the bottom left hand corner. So I used the worn lipstick and I think it was scattered straw to stamp half and half on this stamp, and then I watered it down a little bit and then just stamped it at the bottom, and then tried to do a second stamping at the top. You can barely see it, but you can see a little bit on the image, and then just going in with the yellow, the scattered straw, to bring another circle at the bottom. And I've just rotated the way that I've stamped that stamp, just so that the images look different. So as I said, using my Tim Holtz edge distresser just to distress all the edges of this paper, and then I'll get that stuck down using my ATG. Now I've misplaced my T-square ruler, so you'll see all sorts of implements being used today to try and make sure that I'm getting everything straight on the page. You'll see as we go through. Normally I would have used that to get that green down to make sure that it was straight on the page, but I've just had to eyeball it today. So just sticking these bits together before I get them stuck down onto the page. And just bringing this piece in as well. There we go. So I wanted the pink at the top and the yellow at the bottom on that one. So opposite of what I had on the ink blending at the background. So as I do that, I realise I don't have any tape behind the second photo, so just getting that stuck down. And then I wanted to bring in some of this lovely circle lace that we sell at Hey Little Magpie. It's a really nice accent detail on a long edge, so I thought I'd bring that in. And I just stick it down with some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive to start with, but I will add some stitches to that just to decorate it really, and also make sure it's held in place long term. So just making sure that's nicely stuck down. And then I'm coming in with this Simple Stories sticker sheet. I'd used this previously for a page kit for Hey Little Magpie, and still had some lovely bits left on it. So I thought this would work really nicely with this layout. So I pulled out that Forever, and my title's going to read Vera, Forever in Our Hearts. So I pulled out these Pink Fresh Studio stickers, and again, focusing in on the pink. And I put In Our Hearts underneath, using 3 different colours of or tones of pink, and then spelling out Vera above. That Vera kind of gets lost, so I do bring in another sticker in a minute to put that on, and I'm really pleased with how that looks. Just making sure that everything's stuck down. I will go on after I finish filming and glue everything down with my Nouveau, just to make sure that these letter stickers do stick long term, because the adhesive isn't strong enough really on any stickers that you get. So you just have to reinforce. So this is the sticker that I mentioned that I was going to use as the mat for the word Vera, and it works perfectly. It's a little pocket watch with lots of pink butterflies around it, so just really sweet. And then I pull in this word phrase that says thankful for you, and I just thought that was a nice sentiment to put underneath the title. So now I'm pulling in what's left of the scallop border, and I'm going to add most of it to the right hand side and just a little bit to the left. I'm conscious that the layout is very heavy on the right and it's not balanced really, so I'm going to work on that. You'll see at the end it all works out very well in the end, but I'm just starting to work on that now with this little scalloped border. And this is where I realise I don't have my T-square ruler, so I'm going to use this sticker sheet. Works out really well actually. If you line up the sides when you're working on something in the middle of a page, it makes sure that everything's straight. So I'm using that bottom edge to make sure that the scalloped edge matches up on both sides. So now I've got this large chipboard frame and I want to use this on the page, so I'm just going to chop it up and put half at the top here with the left hand piece going behind that sticker, and then the other half is going to go at the bottom, but it does cause me a few headaches because it means that I've got to raise up the scalloped border onto foam pads, and the title as well needs to be glued down carefully because it's overhanging that yellow paper, but it does all work out. So this is where I'm just pulling everything up carefully so that I can get this situated. Luckily these stickers really aren't very sticky from the 12 by 12 sticker sheet, so it's no problem pulling that back up again. So that's roughly where I want it to go. So I'm just going to use my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive to get that stuck down at the bottom, and then I can work on that scalloped border, as I say, adding that with some foam pads just to raise it up above that chipboard. So just checking that I'm happy and where I want I need to check which scallop hits on that chipboard frame so that I can work out where to put the foam pads. And I'm just using these tiny 6-2 foam pads for this. So I've got that stuck down, and then I want to do the same at the other side so it doesn't look odd. And then I want to draw the line out even further, so you'll see in a minute I do grab another 49er Market Spectrum Gardenia paper, and I'll use one of my Hey Little Magpie's bumpy border dies to add a little bit more, again using that paper technique just to make sure that's straight. So here's the paper I'm going to use with my die, and there it is, that's the bumpy border die, and I'm just going to add a decent section to this left hand side, and then some to the right hand side here as well. And that really starts to draw the eye across the page to the left hand side a bit more. I am going to add more, don't worry, that's not the end. So just getting that piece stuck down, and then trimming this bit down a little bit to add that to the right. And I'll just make sure it goes underneath that title and underneath the photo mat, so it all looks cohesive at the end. So that's more or less lined up with the left hand side, so Happy with that. And then I need to glue this half of the chipboard frame down. And I want to add a little bit more height and definition at the top. I feel like it's quite empty above the photos. So I'm going to bring my tab in, of course, to add my date. So just using a pre-punched craft tab, using that EK Success tab punch. If you've not watched my videos before, it's something that I do very frequently to add my date to my layouts. And then just coming through with some more stickers from that 12 by 12 sticker sheet, some little white flowers on the right hand side, and a little heart, like a typewriter key heart on the left there. And I really wanted a butterfly at the top, so I end up putting that just behind that craft tab, just like that. And I think that looks really sweet. So just bringing this blue paper in now. I wanted to add a tag to the top because I thought I could add a different colour in and also bring some height in with the wax twine that I'm going to pop through that. So I'm just cutting a rectangle of paper, and then I'll use my crocodile to punch a hole in the top, and then that's going to sit up there. And like I say, I'll distress all the edges and then add some wax twine. Oh yeah, add some pink wax twine just to keep going with the pink theme. So just sticking that down behind the photo mat. And then I'll bring the wax twine in now. So just cutting a decent length, threading it through the hole, and then just letting it trail down the left-hand side of the page, right the way down below the photo mats and the paper layers. So we'll add some glue in a couple of places just to hold that in place. And then I'm going to move on to the stitching of that lace. So just a little bit more glue to hold those bits. And this is where I bring in the peach coloured twine, just to add some cross stitches to hold the lace in place. So just threading that onto a needle, and then I'm going to use my pokey tool to poke some holes, two on each side of the long strand that holds the circles together. And I'm going to do 3 crosses at the top here, 1 in the middle and then 2 at the bottom. And like I say, that will just anchor that lace nicely long term, and it also adds a beautiful decorative detail. So just adding the thread through. I'll just use some washi tape to secure that in place at the back, and then I'll stitch those cross stitches, just going in. I try and keep the crosses going the same way, so I go through the top left to bottom right, and then top right to bottom left, and do that all the way down, all 3 of them, and then I shall carry on down the page, punching the holes and then adding the cross stitches. I didn't do all the holes all at once because I just wanted to see how it would look and exactly where I wanted the other bits to go. So that's that. So now I'm using this foam to draw my lines for my journaling, which has gone at the bottom there. Just a very short detail about where we were. And then I'm stamping my date using the roller date stamp and adding that to the tab at the top. And then I've wanted to add some more little gold accents on the left hand side there. So I remembered these puffy stickers that I've got in my drawer and chose a butterfly and a little gold heart just to layer up with that typewriter heart piece there. And then I noticed this sticker that said family, and I thought that was just perfect. So just added that, and then some gold splatters using my gold watercolour paint. And that's the layout done. I hope this has provided some inspiration. Like I say, I know it's a bit of a morbid thing to document, but I did want to remember because it was such a lovely day. It was a brilliant send-off for Vera, and it was a pleasure to be there. Thanks so much for joining me, and I shall see you again soon. Bye.